A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. My fellow patriots, we are the Republic. We hold the power. We are in charge. We must remind our elected leaders of this and be diligent in our endeavors to hold their feet to the fire. We cannot be complacent any longer. We must send a clear message that guns don't kill, people do.
He didn't want to be apathetic, so he decided he would speak, and please give me your attention and a warm round of applause, Mr. Tim Powers.
Thank you, Billy. Tyranny occurs when good men do nothing. Progressivism, disguised as democracy,
Take a big
is
sip,
the
Brett.
disguise for communism, socialism, and Marxism. It's been running rampant in our country for decades now, and unless we learn from our past, our future will be uncertain. A little history lesson here. In December of 1941, after Japan attacked Pearl Harbor, the Japanese Emperor Hirohito was asked why he didn't attack the United States mainland. His response was that he feared there was a gun behind every blade of grass. Now, 72 years later, our own progressive government decides that it wants to cut the grass. In 1961, under the Kennedy regime, when the Cuban Missile Crisis was heating up, the United States State Department issued publication number 7277 to the United Nations. It was a three-phase plan to totally disarm the world. Phase one was for the complete and total reduction of nuclear arms, which we are currently seeing even under Obama. We are now down to about 1,500 warheads. Phase two was for the closing of military bases, which we have all seen under Bill Clinton, as well as the establishment of a United Nations police force. Currently, Chinese, German, and Russian troops are being trained here by our military in the use of urban combat tactics, while the Department of Homeland Security is massing millions of rounds of ammunition that has been outlawed for foreign use by the Geneva Convention. Who are they going to use it on? New Yorkers don't need 10 bullets to kill a deer. Many were awakened. But he was right. We're all a much better shot than that. But we may need 10 bullets to defend our homes and our families from burglars, rapists, and unconstitutional intrusions by state and federal government forces, as was promised to us by the Second Amendment of the United States Constitution. I will reiterate on what was said before, and I will recite the Second Amendment again. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Comrade Cuomo, what part of shall not be infringed don't you understand? The word infringed. I know we touched on the definition, but there's a few other parts to this definition I'd like to touch on. It's a verb. It's abuse of a privilege. To abuse one's rights, advance stealthily, aggress, arrogate, breach, break bounds, break in upon, break into, commit a breach, impinge, impose, infract, interfere, interlope, invade, meddle, overstep, seize wrongfully, take liberties, transgress, trespass, use wrongfully, usurp, violate, violate a contract, violate a law, violate a privilege, violate a regulation. Comrade Cuomo and his cronies will say that the polls support this unconstitutional legislation which he's rammed down our throats. The polls, which are usually conducted by liberal progressive institutions with Marxist overtones on a small group of Marxist indoctrinated people, does not show the real pulse of the people. Unfortunately, most of our elected officials have become so lazy in their positions that they don't even read the legislation anymore. If the polls support it, they vote for it. They need to start returning to their districts and having meetings with those who have elected them before voting on such draconian laws. Another argument that they will use is that democracy ruled the day. Well, let's remember what democracy is. It's a disguise for progressivism, which is a disguise for communism. Democracy defines a form of government in which the people freely govern themselves, where the executive or administrative and lawmaking or legislative power is given to persons chosen by the population, the free people. Occupy Wall Street showed us by defecating on police cars, living in squalor, raping their own participants, and destroying or vandalizing private property, what democracy looks like. Again, it is nothing more than mob rule. Our founders defined this great nation as a republic for a reason. Republic defined that form of government in which the administration of affairs is open to all the citizens. A political unit or state independent of its own form of government. My fellow patriots, we are the republic. We hold the power. We are in charge. We must remind our elected leaders of this and be diligent in our endeavors to hold their feet to the fire. We cannot be complacent any longer. We must send a clear message that guns don't kill, people do.
I hadn't added that part.
In closing, when our founders faced down tyranny and oppression, they relied on divine providence, intestinal fortitude, and a burning desire for freedom and liberty. When their fight had begun, only 3% of the population stood up, and they still won the fight. We have the power to stand. All we need is the burning desire to do so. Our founders pledged their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honors for the cause of freedom and liberty. Are you willing to do the same?
Yes. Yeah, baby. Yeah.
So that being said, I'll close here. Always stay safe and be aware of your surroundings. Thank you, and God bless America.
Tim Powers, everybody. I have a quick interlude here with a friend of mine named Phil.